looking at me funny or something, I'm like, hold on, Tango. Whoa. I'm not your meat. All right, I'm not your play toy.
Yep.
So no, he's a good dog though. No, he's great. He is well rounded.
All right, copy.
Yeah, but yeah,
But
bro. But yeah, definitely that's the thing, dude. That's a big part of it though.
yeah, it is like cause I don't like cause in some ways like I don't necessarily want to like be hound like I don't want to like be bothered and stuff like that. But I do know like so like when it comes to forex, right? So there are a lot of traders like forex traders out there that are like they're showing 3, 4, 500K weeks, and which is relatively amazing, but you don't really see that on the future side, even though the traders that are showing those 500, 250K, 100K days are trading they're trading the Dow Jones or Nasdaq on the forex side, which it's a larger leverage, and the payout is greater because, like, for example, when we take a trade on, let's say for example, Nasdaq, right? I'm trading Nasdaq on Tradeovate and I'm trading Nasdaq on Thinkorswim. On Thinkorswim, Nasdaq is going the margin for Nasdaq is like 22,000, okay? And that $22,000 cost for the trade, every 100 point movement is $2,000, right? Now, if I take that same cost of position on a forex brokerage, that is going like the payout is gonna be 10 grand. I want to say
On the exact same move.
On the same exact move, same exact cost, right? Because one contract, so one contract of not 1 second. Good morning. Let me just finish setting up.
I dip by opportunity at 413. Oh, there we go. Yeah, bro, that's
All right.
insane.
Yeah, so here's how it works, right? Oh wow. Okay. Let me just finish.
Or did you lock out ZL, by the way?
I took profits at 52.60 something.
There you go. Yeah, bro, that was a good start to the morning.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I locked profits on that.
Making bank on soybeans, baby.
Yeah, bro. There's so much opportunity, and like the crazy thing is like I can't even watch everything, man, because like I was even watching copper. Copper was a good buy as well. Like there's just a ton of opportunities and stuff like that. All right. All right, so here we are. Make sure. Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, right? So with forex, so because forex brokerages they offer a higher leverage, and the margin requirement to trade instruments are much lesser, right? So for example, like if you so like I'm gonna pull up my on Thinkorswim. So on Thinkorswim, like I said, TD Ameritrade, they're charging for NQ. So NQ, one contract of NQ is $22,000, 178, right? So that right there, so that's one contract. That one contract, every 100 point movement is going to pay me $2,000, right? Now, if I take that same $22,000 position with a forex brokerage, and again, same parameters, right? I'm still risking 30 to 40 points to make 100 point plus, right? My payout on 100 point movement on Nasdaq is going to be $20,000. So it's like, do you rather have it cost you 22 grand and you only make 2 grand return on a 100 point movement, or the same $22,000 cost for the trade and your return is $20,000, which ends up putting your cost to return ratio at almost 100%, right? It's about like 97, 96%, because your cost is 22,000. Your return on a 100-point movement is 20 grand. So you're literally $2,000 shy. So it's probably more like 80, 89 or 87% return.
So basically, it's like like you just said, 89%. Oh, dude, so you get like almost like 100x return more.
Yeah.
Right? You're on 2,000, you make it 20. So why don't people do that? Why
because people don't know about it. Because most people don't know about it. Like most people, one, they don't know about forex brokerages. And when it comes to forex brokerages, all they hear about and know about is currency. It's like, oh, you can trade this pair and that pair. But also it's because over like, I don't know, however over long in the years, there's been like a very negative stigma when it comes to forex firms. And what's crazy is like you've had like there's been shady business and funny style scams with actual equity brokerages, right? Look at what happened with Bernie Madoff. Look at what happened with the with Jordan Belfloyd with the penny stocks and stuff like that. And the penny stock were like that thing was booming up until like what 20 I want to say maybe 2017 2018. Maybe I'll probably say like 2016, 2015, 2016. It was still booming. Even now it's booming as it has its moments, right? But in the earlier in the late 1990s to 2015, like it was the thing, right? And there was a lot of scam because people were buying fictional companies, right, that were getting promoted and pumped and then dumped. So
it's like crypto, right?
Exactly, right? So there's always scams and shadiness in every aspect of the market. It's just people don't do their due diligence, but then also a lot of people are not they're not aware of it just because like it's unknown. Like no one in their immediate circle or network is either informed about it or participating in it. And that right there is why, because like a lot of people that were doing equities and that did strictly futures, like I put them on, I'm like, yo, why pay 10 grand here on TD Ameritrade where the same position will cost you $500-$600 on another broker, right? Most people don't know that TD Ameritrade is very expensive when it comes to trading commodities and futures. $22,000 for one NQ contract here on TD. On TradeOvate and NinjaTrader, it's going to be about $500 to $1,000.
Okay.
Right? Because mind you, you're able to trade ES. You were able to trade ES with your account, with your personal account. So ES for me on TD Ameritrade is almost $15,000 for one contract. It's $14,784 for one contract.
And people really don't know about TradeOvate, NinjaTrader.
Nah.
And that's so crazy, bro.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a whole new world if people find out, bro.
And that's been my mission, bro. Like that's been my thing, like trying to educate people more on it. Just like when it comes to equities, right? So it's like for you to really make money in equities, it doesn't matter if you're trading a $2 stock, a $5 stock, or a $100 stock. If you're trading a $5 stock, for you to make, let's say you want to make $500 for the day, you have to do at least 1,000 share position, and the stock has to move 50 cents. Now, for the most part, a lot of stocks don't move 50 cents throughout the day, right? At max, let's say on average 15 to 20 cents. So if you do 1,000 share position and you catch a 20-cent movement, you're only making $200 minus commission. You might walk away with like maybe 180, right, or maybe 170, depending on what the broker charges as commission. So that means you would have to do 3,000 share position, or even 2,500 share position. So if you're doing let's say a 2,000 share position, right, and you catch like a 25-cent movement, your cost for that position is 10 grand. Your return is $500. So when you look at the percentage wise, doesn't make sense, because it's like, okay, yes, making $500, like I'm not gonna say making $500 a day is a bad thing. Like that's amazing, but if you can be shown an area or a company that you can make that same $500 with only either a $600 cost for the position or even $1,000. Because if it costs you $1,000 for you to enter that position and your return is $500, you just made 50% on your cost to ratio return. Right? It's not saying that you made 50% on your overall account. It's just saying, okay, it cost you $1,000 to take this position. Your return is $500. That means you made 50%. That's amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And instead of sticking in only NQ 22,000, and like you said, $500 a day is nuts, but almost a return on your investment almost doesn't seem like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, hey, if I give you $22,000 and I get 500 back, is that worth it? It's like, on top of it, it's like, well, I mean, what's the risk to reward rate? You know what I mean? It's like
still like it's still, you're still implementing the same risk to reward parameters, but it's just like a lot of people, like at the end of the day, bro, it's like a lot of people don't have 25 grand or even 50 grand to just risk in the market, right? Because losses will happen, but given that there's a way for you to make more money, right, putting up less money, it like that's a better opportunity. And for the simple, and then another benefit to it is you pay less taxes, like less taxes when you're trading the futures and commodities versus when you're trading equities. And then the biggest thing, bro, PDT. Like when I started, I was subjected to PDT. I started with a 10K account, but when I started in 2013. Anyone that's starting now, the market conditions have dramatically changed, right? To where like now, like you really got to be skillful. You got to really be decent at analyzing and understanding other factors that will affect, that particular instrument that you're trading. And you know what I'm saying? Like I did options, I did penny stocks, I did shorting, I did longing. At first, when I started, like I was classified as a bull. I only liked to buy, I never liked to short, but I was always really good at finding the pivot points for the longs, the pivot points for the shorts. So I've done options. So like I'm very, very good in doing options as well. So like when I call out an option trade, bro, I'll say like my win rate is about 96% win rate on when it comes to options. And I'll talk to like other traders that they're trading these $150 stocks, which is like, okay, it's amazing. Like, yeah, you're making $1,600 or whatever, or you make $3,000. And I'm like, okay, you made $3,000, but your cost for that trade was $168,000. I was like, I took an option play. The option play cost me about $1,600, and I made $3,200 return. So I'm like, who had the best trade? My trade was better because I made over 100% return, while you're not even scratching a 1/4% return on your trade. But again, $1,600 a day, I'm saying 1-2 trades is really good, but it's like there's so much other things to look at it, and it's like, okay, well, you could spend this $5,000 and whatever, but $5,000 in the stock market, you're going to be under PDT. You put that same $5,000 in the futures and commodities market, bro, you're going to make $200, $300, $500 a day, a week, like clockwork. And you don't have to burden yourself with continuously looking and scanning for stocks. Like I used to spend, bro, I would get up 6 in the morning, right, to do my pre-market analysis. I would start trading. I would start trading at 9:30. I would trade all the way to 3 p.m. Then at 5 or 6 p.m. in the evening, I would get back on the charts, and I would spend about 3.5 hours scanning through FinViz, scanning through my my custom scans on Thinkorswim. And I would get like somewhere between 100 and 200 companies that I would look at their charts. Then I would find the charts that that looked appealing to me, right? So I would comprise a 200 stock scan down to about 30 or 20. But then in the morning when I do my pre-market, I'm adding another 5 or 10 to it, right? And then it's like, yo, you cannot sit there and watch 30 stocks at a time. So you have to pick like 3 or 5. So I would pick about 5 that I would watch and focus on. And sometimes, some days it would be a hit. Some days it would be a miss, right? Because you can only watch so much as you at once. But with futures and commodities, bro, it doesn't change. Like the symbols are the same day in, day out. It's just a matter of the pivot points. Is it at a buy point? Is it at a sell point? That's it.
Yep. And that's crazy, bro. Making a list of 300 like every day. That's
Bro,
crazy,
every day, bro. It was so time consuming, bro. So
bro.
like when I got into futures and commodities, bro, like yo, I pumped my brakes so quick, dude, and I busted that
Yep.
U-turn and I ain't looked back since. So like so people like they'll think like I can't trade stocks, but I'm like anyone that's that's tuned into my stream was like, yo, I'm not actively trading Tesla or Nvidia every single day, but I call some very good pivot points on the stocks because like my charting is like once you can chart, bro, and you really understand what you're seeing and how things work, like you can chart anything, and it doesn't
Right.
matter if it's this stock or that stock. Like shit comes up, I look at them like, all right, boom, within like 30 seconds, I can find like a buy point, an area of interest, and then I either wait for it or not, and I can go
Yep.
on and focus on something else. But yeah, bro, like, and matter of fact, let take a look at Tesla because I know yesterday I had
Yeah,
analyzed
right,
it.
bro. I was gonna say, I think I tuned in a little bit ago when you were talking about Nvidia or something. I
Yeah,
think it was one of the days. Yeah, you were talking about Nvidia, and I was just like, I mean, you like you said, man, spot on, bro. And I was just like, yo, dude, jack of all trades over here. This guy. I start
yeah,
calling out penny stocks, dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. So
let's
yeah, I mean, even
go.
penny stocks, like penny stocks, I do well with those as well. But like the thing that I hate about penny stocks, like, is the lack of movement, man. It's like you have
Yeah,
only a certain amount of time during the year where penny stocks are moving, right?
right.
But and if you're looking to do this full time, you cannot be participating in an area of the market that's only viable a quarter or half of the year. That means only
Right.
six. That means like those 6 months, like you have to like really bang out because you're gonna have 6 months of just low volume, no setups, and it's like if that's all you got in your bag, then it's like you're not really gonna make it. But if you can do penny
Right.
stocks, and then once you know, oh, you know what, the penny stock market is getting slow, let me switch over to futures or let me switch over to options. You go with the futures, you're gonna have a better win rate than options because options, again, as everyone watching, it's from 9:30 to 3:59 p.m. and it's so unfair that financial institutions can get out pre-market. They can get out post-market through the dark pool. And it's like
It's
just even mentioning the dark pool and how like I'm able to follow the markets through the weekends on the dark pool, people are like, "Wait, what? For real?" I'm like, "Yeah." But it's like, but that function, like, that costs money. You know what I mean? To be able to track like these buys and sells through that aspect of the market and whatever. And this is just like these are like information that I wish I was taught like when I was being mentored because there was like I had to find out about pre-market and post-market on my own. And I felt like that's something that like my mentor should have taught me. Like, hey, guess what? You can buy and sell pre-market, ranging from 5 a.m. to to 8 a.m. depending on who you broker with and whatever. And
right.
that's where like brokerages, I have so many because each one has their pros and cons, right? You're not gonna have one broker that gives you everything under the sun. So I have multiple brokers. Like I have TD Ameritrade, I have TradeOvade, I have Ninja Trader, and then I have various forex brokerages. Some that allows me to trade cryptos on the weekend, others don't, but some that allows me to trade. I can trade actual equities and crypto with one particular forex brokerage, which was my main forex brokerage until the volatility started happening, and then next thing you know, they started freezing and lagging, and I'm just like, okay, time to find a new broker.
Right.
I still use them
Um,
though.
Bro, I don't know if you were trading yesterday, bro, but I mean, not TD Ameritrade, Trade of a dog. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, baby. They tried to, I don't know what happened, but I mean, I was talking to a couple of different people, charting me, I think Darth Trader as well. Yeah, and dude, I was in the middle of a trade, right? I literally, remember that 50K account I told you I
Yep.
bounced and accidentally
Yep.
backfigured? But dude, and the second I got in on this trade, bro, it hit 50,000, 53,000, right? Spiked above it. I was just about to get out, and I did limit ask, right? Like sell ask, and I was like, okay, it didn't fail me. I'm just gonna hold the end. The entire thing froze up, bro, and it just stopped working. I was like, I knew it. They're trying to screw me over
Yeah.
here, bro. So then I went, dude. It was crazy, dog. I was like, yo, bro. I was in like a war trying to get back onto my account, bro, and I got back on, and I closed it for like break even. I was good. I was like, okay, okay, it
Yeah.
happened one particular trade.
I heard like there was a few people that mentioned like the the other day, not let me see, not yesterday, but the day before. So I want to say Wednesday. Wednesday, like yeah, they're like, oh, it was lagging and stuff like that. And what I say to that is like, in moments of high volatility and volume, the servers are not designed to withstand that amount of buying and selling. I mean, bro, we're talking possibly, you know, billions like at the same time.
Right.
So there's going to be a lag in the system. Like I've seen it, I saw it happen when they did the Brexit situation. So most
Mhm.
people probably don't know this, but a few years ago when Britain decided that they were going to leave the European Union, right? So they were putting it up for a vote. Okay, British is gonna the Britons are gonna leave the EU, and a lot of people were like, oh no, nah, it's not like they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I'm like, no, they are. They're gonna leave and whatever. And what gave me the inclination that they were going to leave was that on the day, like a few days before the vote, all brokers, bro, all brokers across the like literally across from stocks to futures, commodities to forex, all of them were basically like, yo, if you want to be able to buy and sell, you have to call in. And I'm just like,
What?
what? I'm like, so you can't do it online? It's like, no, like you have to call in. So because brokers were taking that type of precaution, I'm like, yo, they're gonna leave and we're gonna have massive volume. And specifically what I was trading, because with them leaving, gold was gonna spike. So I took a long on gold, bro. Like within once the vote came out, within like a minute and a half, gold spiked 150 points.
Hey, dang.
Yeah, bro.
Dang.
Like
Wait, how much is gold today?
so gold one contract gold one contract 10 points is $1,000.
Okay.
So
Oh wow.
every 1 point on gold on one contract will pay you $100.
Right. Dang, that's great. And you called 150?
150 points.
So what is that, like 100? And if I do my math right, what is that? 150 bands? 150K? Something like that? Like 15 odd. I can do that. So,
No, it was like no, it's like 15
oh, okay.
like
Yeah, like I said, man, my math.
15K.
All right, listen. But we're working on it. That's so crazy though, bro. And especially one trade too. Catching 15K in one trade, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild, dude. So what? So you knew they were leaving because, and when you went to go close that trade, did you have to call in?
Nope, I didn't have to call in because it ended up getting halted several times,
Okay.
and then by the time it reopened, you could close out through your system. But like there was
There you
like,
go.
you know, like some lagging in the process, but and then the following
Well,
day
that's
it ended up going higher. But yeah, but just the fact that they were doing that, I was like, yeah, I was like it's gonna be an exit.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
yeah, dude. That's awesome though, bro. I mean, shit. Yeah, man. See, that's one thing, bro. I think I need to make a list, and I think I mean, when you're gonna be on someone, I think I need to make a list and like pin it to my wall of
mm-hmm,
different like, because I look at obviously like ES and Q, and I'm
mm-hmm,
getting better at like writing down my zones and like trading them.
yeah,
But what is it? I like you did this morning on ZL, right? Or then there's like CG. You know, you got gold, you got a natural NG. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be. And I just don't trade all that, which is like, I feel like I should be though, because there's so much more money like around than like just NQ and ES. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, so it's like, yeah, bro, that's crazy though. That's good to hear though, dude.
Yeah,
You
ZL is really nice. ZL is really nice to trade. Um like it's really nice. It doesn't move too much. Like around 2 p.m. or something like that, like it stops trading and then it starts again at 8 p.m., which is why like, you know, you catch me like, yo, like how is this man still trading during the Asian session or the London session? Is because like
right.
at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's when ZL and ZW will start trading again. So there's a lot of different things that you can look to trade, like even natural gas, right? Natural gas, you know, once we get like more into the winter into the winter months, we're gonna end up seeing natural gas possibly run back up to $6 to $6 a contract. And I say this because tensions are really rallying with the other countries over the pond, and and the US is still trying to put more sanctions on Russia and stuff like that. And mind you, last year they blew up this pipeline from Russia, which caused the energy crisis in Europe and whatnot. So there's a lot of different things that are happening that is going to cause oil to run up, natural gas to run up, gold to run up. I think like in like I said, I was saying yesterday, I think like in the next 2 to 3 years we're gonna see gold over $3,500 an ounce. So like right now you see
Right.
gold is
Okay.
trading at 1992, right? So if we're talking, if we're looking at this like, okay, well, in another 2 3 years or whatever, we could see this well over $3,000, which is big, because if you ever look up the market cap for gold, bro, it's massive. So so
Really?
now
Yeah.
so yeah so now knowing this, it's like, okay, how do we capitalize on this movement, right? Well, simple. There are gold ETFs that you can buy shares of, or you can buy options. So what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking to do what's called leap year calls, right? So because I'm purchasing these calls so far out into the essentially into the futures, like 2 years, 2 years out, 3 years out, those calls are going to be substantially cheaper than if I was to buy a weekly or a monthly call, right? And I'm going to be targeting, okay, I think gold is going to go over 3,500 in the next 3 years. So I'll probably buy maybe like some 2,500 calls a year and a half, 2 years out. And once gold gets over that 20, so let's say in the next 8 months, gold gets over $2,500 per contract, like that, those calls are going to be worth so much.
Right. Okay.
So those are different ways
Okay.
that you can play it. And then with oil, like I'm expecting oil to go back over $120 a barrel. So now, if you're trading the actual futures contract, like you're gonna have, various expirations every few months. But there are energy stocks that you can play with, that you can buy, right? There's a lot of oil stocks that you can look to buy. And basically, if some of them ranging from $3 to $6, $10, and you could start building a position on those, because that in the next 8 to 15 or 18 months, the market, oil is going to end up going over $100 a barrel. And once it does, that's going to be reflected on those equity stocks. So those are ways of playing a much longer term, like if you have like additional capital that you're not necessarily need to trade, right? And again, like it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you can basically use these funding firms to make money, get your payout
Yep.
from these funded companies, and then use some of those portions to build a long-term portfolio. And the long-term portfolio for the time being, at least for the next 2 years, is going to be energy, rare metals, and defense companies. Why? Because of the impending war, because of the
Right.
conflict that's going on. So even companies that are not necessarily like producing defense weapons, but let's say they're producing a component that the defense companies need in order to make their weapons, that company is going to go up in price. So I call those sympathy plays, because it's not the actual defense company, but it's tied in to the defense company via it's producing a component or a service that they need.
Right. Okay. Oh well, there we go, dude. Okay, so basically look into some of those defense companies. Not maybe not the arms wise, but on the like you just said, maybe biochips or whatever it could be. I mean, I know that there was that one that came out. I think it was ARM or something.
Mhm.
They're like big biochips or something like that, like a big biochip company.
That has
And
ties with the video, right? Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. They tied, yeah, and they were coming out with that, which I think that's going to play a big part coming into the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of my one of my favorite uh position. Let me see. IN no, it's INTC. So yeah, so one of my favorite companies that I've been scaling into is Intel. And
Oh, Intel, okay. Data
yeah,
centers.
and reason for is because all right, so we look and you see how much Nvidia is at, right? Nvidia is trading at over $400 a share, right?
Right.
Intel it was the winner of when the Biden administration started the whole chip initiative, right? And
Right.
the
Okay.
reason Intel is a major play is because when China captures Taiwan, okay, Intel is gonna go through the roof. Why? Because
Hey,
Intel produces chips, right? Taiwan 85% of the world's chip supply comes from Taiwan. That's chips that are going in mobile phones, chips that goes in vehicles, chips that goes in medical devices, chips that go in military devices are all
right.
produced in Taiwan. So what happens when China takes over Taiwan? China is now going to be in control of that chip supply. China is growing at a massive scale, so that means they're going to consume majority of those chip that are produced there, right? And by
Right.
them doing that, that is going to limit the chip consumption for the rest of the world, right? So
Yep.
what does that mean? There's going to be a short of supply and there's going to be a high demand. Whenever you have short supply of a product and there's high demand for it, what happens to it? What happens to the price?
Uh, yeah, it goes crazy.
It goes right through the roof, right? Like straight, like
Yep.
a straight pump and dump, right? Like
Yep.
have you ever seen a stock do a supernova move?
Yeah, like HKD type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's going to happen. So when that happens, it's like, okay, what company is in a good position to reap benefits? It's like, okay, Nvidia will definitely pop, but then it's like not everybody's going to be able to buy a couple hundred or even 1,000 shares worth of Nvidia, right? 1,000 shares worth of Nvidia is almost $500,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't really got that, so we got to look at the at the most effective one, right?
Right.
Boom, Intel. So Intel currently, currently it's trading at $35 a share. My cost average is about 27.82 a share on it. And I'm holding this long term, bro. Like I don't plan on selling this until it's over $70 a share. And even then I'll probably just maybe
Oh,
liquidate half.
right.
And
Well,
that
damn, bro. Okay.
and
But yeah,
that's
dude, that's continue. You know, you're good.
now go ahead.
I'll just say Intel, man. I never even thought about that. I didn't even know. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that they were, I don't know why I never thought about that. I thought they were more or less just computer chips. You know what I mean? Like Intel computer chips. I never thought about, literally military grade thing. And maybe one day, you really think about it. It's kind of scary to think about, but maybe they'll be in humans. Think about it, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
far
no,
future.
they're definitely they're already pushing for that. Like they're already pushing for to put chips in humans. Supposedly it's gonna help monitor your health and da 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 and whatever. They're putting chips to be able to pay for stuff. So like no more credit cards or wallets and stuff, bro. Like the there's like the stuff that you see in the movies, bro, we are really not that far off from. Like we already
Right.
have flying cars. We've been had flying cars, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
countries actually overseas, specifically in Dubai, they've already done like test flies on vehicles that are AI powered, that are AI driven, right? So
Right.
and we've been had flying cars that will convert from a vehicle to being able to fly, and it'll fly a certain distance. The whole chip
Right.
thing, like they've been planning this for years, and again they're going to be using it as a ploy to be able to monitor your health. Prime example, what happened in Ohio with that derailment of the train with the chemicals. Like they're trying to do that with the people there. China is doing it to where you can pay for stuff. So that's the route that we're going on. So anything chip related, bro, it's going to be massive in the coming years. Also EV companies, or even companies that have some sort of affiliation, whether they're producing batteries or a component that an EV company needs, are also going to increase in value in the next 5 to 10 years. So 5 to 10 year plan, it's EV and chip companies. Any company associated with a major chip company, so any company that ends up getting like associated with Nvidia, bro, it's gonna end up going through the roof.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I'm looking at things, and I'm just like, okay, how can I capitalize on what's about to happen? And once and again, like it was during the pandemic, bro, that like I came across how China is going to be going after Taiwan, and it was back in 2012 that China actually started building a military base in Taiwan, like in one of the islands off the coast of Taiwan. And when it comes down to ownership, when you ownership, like I'll say about 80% of it is actually like having like possession of it, right? So by them having military bases off the coast of Taiwan, it just makes it that much easier. And like they're so China's basically playing chess while the US is playing checkers.
Yeah,
But the
that's what
US,
it's,
but the US has like the US has known that China did this back in 2012 and whatever. So it's like it's taken them literally a little over 10 years to position themselves to be able to recapture this territory.
right. So that's what I was going with. So, let's say they do take over Taiwan here, right? Like they're doing all that, they take it over. What do you think the next move is? Do you think they're, like what is the game plan for China there? Just to, what I mean? Like I guess will that be get land back? I guess or whatever that would be. I mean, but
So
like
with China capturing Taiwan, China's going to control the chip supply.
yeah,
China
makes sense.
controlling the chip supply, that means some will be able to get it and some won't be able to get it. So a lot of European countries that they don't produce chips, they don't produce any of it, right? They're gonna be essentially shit out of luck, or they're gonna be at the mercy of China. So whatever China wants is what they're gonna have to do. So they're gonna have to do things that will be more favorable to China, in order to be able to still capture that. The U.S. Is not gonna suffer as much because the U.S. had started the chip initiative. Now I don't know if other countries in Europe have started doing something similar, but 2 years ago Biden started the chip initiative, which was to build a chip manufacturing here in the U.S. and I believe they're doing it in Ohio, if I'm not in Columbus or somewhere in Ohio. They won the bid. Um, so
Okay.
so the US is already making preparations for that, right? And the US wouldn't be taking preparations if there wasn't a high chance of Taiwan falling into the China's regime. And once that happens, like we're in a technological age and we're continuing to get more and more technological. So if your country lacks in chips, right, and they can't produce it as fast as another country, what does that mean? That means your economy and your progress is going to be hindered, or at least dramatically affected, to where this country will be able to leap 5, 10 years ahead of you, because you're gonna have to start from ground zero. You're gonna have to build
Yeah.
a facility. Then you're gonna have to get the raw materials. And China has been going into the African nations, right? Because Africa provides a lot of the raw material that all these countries need for lithium batteries, for phone production, for chip production. And China's going in there. It's like, yo, we're gonna give you money. We're respecting your ways. We respect your values and beliefs. We just want to partner and do good business with you. So not only are they really paying these countries, but they're also not trying to convert these countries and say your way is not as good as my way, so you have to convert and do everything my way, right? Quote unquote, bring over democracy. So
Yeah.
China is going in there and China is disrupting all of that, right? And again, this is more of a strategic move because once they capture Taiwan and they already have good relationship with the nations that the raw materials are coming from, so that is going to undercut the European nations. It's also going to undercut the U.S. nation from these other countries, and essentially it's like, yo, like the power shift is gonna shift. The economic state is going to shift into China's favor, which is going to undoubtedly cause the Chinese currency to increase in value, which is another reason why the last year or so and a half, like I was trying to find a way to have like some currency sitting like converting some currency into the Chinese currency, but like without actually like having the physical money, because
Right.
I know like in the next 10-15 years the Chinese currency is going to increase in value. So, as an investor looking, 5-10 years down the line, it's like, okay, start now that the currency is low, and then in 10 years, let's say in 10 years, it overthrows the US currency and becomes the new world reserve currency. It's going to have a great deal of value.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is buy some property over in China, go over there, and just start living life, baby.
Not necessarily China,
No,
but
no.
not necessarily China, because like I wouldn't. I mean, even for me, like I personally wouldn't. I mean, even though like if you were to relocate to the Asian side, your costs are dramatically lesser than here in the U.S. But for me, it's just more so having like exposure in that currency, right? Having exposure to the BRICS nations, because like there's been a war going on, but the average people are not really seeing it. Most traders that are focusing on just one aspect of the market are not seeing it or aware of it. But this currency war has been going on for decades, right? And it's now, and the stages has been set to where it's going to fall into the Chinese into China's favor. Relationships with African nations between the U.S. are dissolving. Uh, Ever since I got on Tradecaster last year, I've been telling people a lot of countries are de-dollarizing their reserves. You see it every quarter. The government here is printing more money. Every time they print money, your buying power decreases. Inflation is high. We're at a risk of possibly going into hyperinflations. There's hyperinflation in Turkey. I've been there. The US dollar goes a long way. There's hyperinflation in Argentina. Your money goes a long way in these countries that they have hyperinflation, right? Because the US dollar is still the world reserve currency. So
Right.
the US is running the risk of having the same thing happen, and everyone's like, oh, the US dollar, like it's never gonna go down. It's like everyone thought about that about the Japanese currency. And this year, the Japanese currency, bro, was literally on its last lifeline. It ended up getting saved, but like it was
Right.
literally on the verge of collapsing. So it's like, so don't sit here and tell me that the world's safety currency since the 1990s was like literally a breath away from collapsing, right? That you're gonna tell me that this could never happen to the US dollar. And then it's like, okay, let's look at what is really backing the US dollar. Like what actual physical asset or commodity or instrument is backing the US dollar. Back in the 70s, when it was taken off of the gold standard by Nixon, ever since then it's been debt, and on the strength and promise that the US will pay its debt. Okay, the US is able to pay its debt because of the petrodollar. The only thing that is keeping the US dollar where it currently is the fact that of the petrodollar, meaning countries have to purchase oil, they have to purchase oil through USD. If that goes away, bye bye US currency. So your hundreds of thousands of dollars that you have sitting in a bank, what good is it going to be worth?
Right. So yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the UAE is the leading, but they still. So even though UAE, like the obviously, aren't they the leading? I guess I would say oil industry, right? Don't they lead the oil tech technically?
No.
They have the most or something. No, not at
Oh
all.
no, no. I'm saying when you
Well,
say no, I'm saying when you say UAE, yeah. The Middle East, yes, the Middle East, Saudi
Yeah, the
specifically,
middle.
yeah, they're the ones that like run the oil cartel, right? And it's so
That's
crazy. It's like
crazy,
OPEC.
bro.
Like, listen to this. OPEC is an oil cartel. You have drug cartels. You have that cartel, right? So the oil cartel, the main head of it is Saudi Arabia. So Saudis are known as. Have you heard of the term kingmaker?
Like for Saudi Arabians or
Yeah, like Saudi is viewed as the kingmaker, meaning
okay, yeah,
meaning whatever currency that they make a deal in, that they're going to be receiving payment for the oil, because oil is used for energy all throughout the world. Okay, and if let's say tomorrow they were to be like, you know what, we're gonna choose to receive our payment in, let's say, the Brazilian currency. Brazil's currency will go through the roof. Their economy would dramatically increase, right? Because of the fact that Saudi is choosing their currency as the main currency to get paid in. The Saudi has an agreement with the U.S. where they would only receive payment in USD for oil, right? That went away. That went away this year. They're now accepting other forms of payment for oil, right? And the day that they're just like, you know what, the hell with the U.S., like, yo, we're good. We don't want to accept money in USD, bro. Whew.
wraps. It's gone.
That
It's
that's
done.
like, let's just say that's the equivalence of like Armageddon. Like, your dollars are gonna be worth shit. So the only value you're gonna have is if you have properties, if you had the foresight to actually purchase some gold and silver bars and coins, which I've been doing since like 2019. I've been doing that periodically. So, because again, if you've been buying gold bars and coins at 15, 18, 1700, right? And now it's fluctuating at 2000. Like, already you have an increase in value. But now we're talking in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe five, we could see gold over $3,500. I mean, you're looking at almost 100% return on your initial
Right.
investment if you're able to buy gold under $2,000 an ounce.
I mean, that's honestly really smart, and I feel like this is like really good sauce, bro, for like any $1 because like I feel like people what they want to do with a lot of like and it's all like okay, but how does that have to do with trading and all? It's like, bro, this is like it has to do with your life, bro. It's like quite literally you can make $1 million in USD, right, in
Mm-hmm.
cash, right, USD, and let's say like you said, Saudi Arabia decides okay, hey, we're done using USD or something, and the entire currency goes to crap. That $1 million is worth like $100,000 in another country.
Not
It's like
even.
you know what I mean?
You be lucky. You be
Yeah,
lucky.
right,
You be
right.
lucky. You be lucky if it's worth at least 10 grand. But yeah, but essentially it would be something like that. That million would now be, worth maybe $100,000, which is like, oh shit, that's crazy,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah,
And
bro.
and and this is why, like, I stay talking and like, yo, like, you have to diversify as an investor. Like, you go across the board and you ask every single long-term, short-term investors, they don't keep everything in one thing. As a trader,
Right.
you don't trade just one thing and one thing alone. You don't trade just one strategy and one strategy alone. You're trading multiple things. If you're trading in the
Right.
stock market, you're trading multiple different companies, right? Today it might be, EFZ, tomorrow it might be AMD or whatever else. So why would you allow yourself to only be, have exposure in one particular area? Now, I granted sometimes it comes down to like the fact that, people don't have the means or the money to, but it's like, okay, build up to it, right? Find
Right.
means and ways to make money and then diversify into other things. I'm a
Right.
strong advocate of having money in other currencies. And one of the easiest ways that as U.S. Citizens we can have money in different currencies is using Wise, WISE.com. Okay, is
Oh, word, bro.
yeah. So on there, like, that's where I have money in the Chinese currency. I have money in European currency, and I have in euro, and I have money in British pound currency. I started converting some USD profits into pound sterling back when pound sterling crashed and went below 130, right? And right now, pound sterling, like this year, it's been hovering over like 180, right? And I started buying it, like converting when it got down to below 130, like it went to like 110 or something like that. And then euro, I started with euro, and especially when euro went under $1, bro, I made a massive turnaround. Right now, euro's at 1.05. Not much, like, right, if you look at it, but over time, this thing is gonna go back over $2. Great. And if and when the US dollar like decreases in value, which it's already doing, euro is going to increase in value. So these are the different types of ways when I look at the macroeconomics of things, the geopolitical of things. It's like I'm able to prepare because I know as this comes down, this is gonna go up. So let me get this, man. Yo, EU's looking good.
Order filled.
I was
Taking
gonna say,
yeah, taking along on EU 4168 even. I'm long EU 4168 even.
yeah, bro. So like that is like, yeah, bro. This market is actually getting a little pump. I've been holding this entire conversation just ES, bro, since I got in on that dip buy on S&P down to 412. I got on that dip buy, bro, and like I've just been like literally damn near that low day, bro. Glory to God. But like, dude, I've just been watching, bro. It's on one of the 50 days now.
Yeah.
But so wait, what's that currency converter called?
So it's called Wheeze. It's actually one of my payment that I use for like international. Where you go in, so you can have either a business account or a personal account. I have both. But essentially you can have wallets. So similar to like when you start getting involved in crypto, like you have a Bitcoin wallet. You have a Ethereum wallet, which means you're holding money in that particular currency, right? So with Wheeze, it's, let me type it up so everyone knows. So I'm gonna type it up in my chat. It's www.wisc.com. Okay, yeah, Wheeze. So you go on there, you create an account, it's gonna ask you for your social if you're here in the US. If you're abroad, yeah, you're gonna put the same equivalence of your social overseas. And you're gonna basically then once you do that and they approve you, you'll be able to open up wallets. And for those in the US and even abroad, you can link a bank account to it, and you can then send money from your bank account to them and have it in that currency, right? So because I'm waiting on a few things, so for now, like I'll leave it there until I'm able to have like an actual account with like a bank out there and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna divulge my information too much, whatever. But that is a good start. They also provide you with a debit card. So if at some point you're traveling abroad, and let's say you go to the UAE, right? You can open up a dirham wallet, and you can let's say you have maybe $500, or let's say you have a couple grand in euro, right? And you're going to UAE and you want to use dirham, you can open up, like you go on your app, you open up a dirham wallet, and then you can transfer to 500 euros over to that, and then you can use the card overseas to pay without having to deal with the convergency rate and fees.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, damn, bro. There we go. Okay. That's really good to know, dude. I mean, so what would you say right now would be like the best like would you just say gold probably under 2,000? You said an ounce.
Like, yeah,
Probably the
bro.
best
Yeah,
right
so
now. Okay.
like buying gold bars or coins right now is it's one of the ways you're going to be able to combat inflation, and it's one of the ways that you're going to be able to protect majority of your money from hyperinflation, right? Because in any situation when currencies lose value, gold's value is never going to go to zero, ever, 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 ever. Silver never going to go to zero. Platinum or palladium never ever going to go to zero. So you start purchasing these things, it's like, okay, you can sit here and you can put, let's say you this year you had a very good year in the market, and let's say you made like 50 grand this year, right? And let's say out of the 50 grand, okay, you take out money for taxes and stuff like that, you're left with like maybe 45 grand, right? Now you use, let's say, half of that, you know what I'm saying, you put a third of it into an emergency fund, and then you put about maybe 15 grand into a bank account, right? That bank account is only gonna, per year, you're gonna maybe make $2-3 on that 10 grand, maybe. Honestly, it'd probably be like maybe like $1.50, right? So so you take that same 10 grand and you buy $10,000 worth of gold. In 2 years time or 3 years time, that same 10 grand dollars, that same $10,000 worth of gold is going to be worth 30, 40,000, 50,000. And that, you can take that anywhere in the world and convert it to whatever currency of your desire. So that is a way better way of you holding your money than than leaving it in a bank account. Because essentially, whenever you put money in a bank account, savings, checkings, like, you're getting chump change to what they're actually doing with the money, because the banks are actually purchasing assets. They're investing it overseas. They have overseas exposure and stuff like that, and they're making 10, 15, 22%. They're investing your money in the S&P ETF and making 15, 20% a year. Meanwhile, you don't even see a 1% return.
Right. You don't get nothing, dude.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's why I've never. I don't think I've ever. I'm only 19, but like I don't think I've never opened up a savings. Like, I mean, I have the checkings, obviously, and I'll use it. I'll keep money in it if I need to, but I'll keep money. And my buddies would differentiate on it, but I mean, we used to talk about it. I'm like, bro, I'd rather keep money in just the S&P in general, S&P. Just keep DCAing. If I need to sell some, I need to sell some for whatever it is. Ethereum at one point, I still have some in Ethereum, and Bitcoin as well. Just like those little cryptos. I haven't adventured too much into gold and stuff, but like it's almost like keeping, like, okay, let's say you buy like an ounce of gold for like 2,000. That's almost like keeping a $2,000 savings that's appreciating at a rather fast rate, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, because if you just sell that, okay, let's say you sell it and now you're selling it for 2,100, or like buying like a nice Rolex Submariner for like, I don't know, like fucking 5K if you can get one for that or something, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. And then it appreciates in value. It's almost just like, obviously keeping your tacos.
That's what it comes down to. It's like, it's just basically finding different things, because like there's so many different ways to invest and make money outside of the market. There's so many things that are going to increase in value, especially, again, given the time that we're in. Like, you could easily, like, you could buy an AP, you could buy a 18 karat gold Rolex presidential, and spend 10, 15 grand on it. In 3-5 years time, maybe, like in 3-5 years time, that same $15,000 watch that you bought a couple years ago might be worth 35, 40,000, 50,000. I mean, when we were having the shortage of like supply and demand with the whole pandemic and the shutdown, dude, a rose gold Rolex that a couple years ago like was selling for like 10, 12 grand, during the pandemic ended up going to like $35,000. And it's just like, you know what I mean? So when you see these people, like buying these luxury watches, like, it's like, yeah, it's nice, but that's also an investment. And certain watches over time, I mean, Kush knows more about watches than I do. But like over time, like, those are things that are going to increase in value. So it's like, yo, I mean, why not? And on top of that, it becomes a business expense, right? So us dealing with the streaming and trading and and building a brand. And I hope, yeah, buddy, you've registered a Yeah Buddy Business LLC. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, we're getting there.
Right? Because check this out, right? So again, you have a good year and you go and the end of the physical year is the last day of December, right? So, but let's say before the end of the year, like you've made a good amount in trading this year, right? And you're trading under your business. Instead of for you to lower your taxable income, you go and you buy, a luxury item. Again, like a watch. You buy the watch, like let's say you buy a $15,000 watch that if things continue the way it is, in a couple of years you might be able to sell that watch for 25 grand. You'll be able to make $10,000 in profit from it, right? But you buy the $15,000 Rolex, and you go to events, you wear it on the live stream, right? Because this is a part of of the brand to advertise the business and the possibilities of the business. So now that watch is a write-off.
Okay, just because I showed it on stream more
Because you're using that watch as part of marketing, a certain lifestyle when it comes to trading. So now that $15,000 that you spent on that watch is actually a write-off. So let's say you made $100,000 this year in trading, right? Before any major expenses. Now again, if you're operating as a business, you're going to get a ton of write-offs, right? So let's say you pay $100 a month for high-speed internet. That's going to run you about $1,200 that you're going to be able to deduct from that $100,000, right? So you take $100,000 and you deduct that that was it 1,200? Yeah, it'll be $1,200, right? So you deduct the $1,200. Now you're going to be paying taxes on $98,800. But you have other expenses. You have electricity. So let's say electricity is another $1,200 deduction. Right now you're at 87. Then you have, let's say you have a $10,000 computer setup. That $10,000 computer setup is a deduction. So now you're going to have to pay taxes on $87,000 and $600. But there's more. Let's say every month you get about, $200 in entertainment fee, right? Because you're a streamer and stuff like that. So that's going to average out to about like $2,400 that you're going to be able to deduct for the year. Now you're at $85,000 for that. Then you get like say $100 a month for groceries and stuff like that. Now you deduct another, let's say another $1,200, right? Now you're paying taxes on $84,000. But guess what? You ended up buying a $15,000 watch, which you're able to deduct. Now, instead of you paying taxes on $100,000, you're paying taxes on $69,000. But there's more other things that you can deduct. I mean, if you were to buy a motorcycle and you put your logo on that motorcycle, boom, that $20,000 motorcycle is now a write-off. So you deduct that $20,000 from it. Now you're paying taxes on less than $50,000.
Dude, now you got me excited, bro. I'm about to stick YB on my bike.
Bro, like legit, bro. It has to be about like 12 inches in length.
Oh, I'll plaster it.
But yo, you put a 12-inch logo of your logo on any vehicle that you choose to purchase under your business. It's a write-off. Like, and there's other things. Your cell phone. I use my cell phone to trade, so my cell phone for the last 10 years has been a write-off. I upgrade the phone, that's a write-off. My laptops, my computer monitors, my screen, my internet, and let's say even so, like I rent. So let's say I was to shift my lease under the business, my rent would now become a write-off for the business. It's money that I'm spending regardless. So why not have it come out of my taxable income?
So with these tax write-offs and stuff, I mean, is it I mean, you're paying a lot less in taxes essentially, right? You're saving a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Basically. It's the difference. Okay, so look, if you have to pay, so let's say after all those deductions that I just gave you, this is just like a quick rundown. You're paying taxes on $49,000, right? So here's the big difference. So you live in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
All right. Do you know what the state tax is for Pennsylvania?
Oh, I think it's like 12%.
12?
Yeah, I want to say 12 or 14.
Shit, that's fucking
something
high.
like that.
Damn, that's
Wait,
high.
what did you say?
I'm like, shit, that's high. Okay, so let's say 8%, right? So let's say the state tax for Pennsylvania is 8%, right?
Okay.
Then you have the government tax, right? Short-term capital gains. So let's say 35. So let's say what? So that's 100,000 times 0.8 That's $8,000. 100,000 times 0.35. So that's 35,000 plus $8,000. So look at on $100,000 profit for the year, you would be paying the government $43,000. That's almost half.
That's what?
But
Dude,
not
that is
but now check it out. Because of all the deductions that you got through the business and utilizing what I said, right, with the luxury watch and vehicle and stuff like that, you're paying taxes on 49,000. So 49,000 times 0.08, that's 3920. 49,000 times 0.35, that's 17 plus 3920. So you go from paying 43,000 to paying $21,000. Which would you prefer?
That is, yeah, bro. I don't know what to do.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing. And overall, okay, so it's 3% flat. Okay, so Doc said, let me see, Pennsylvania has a flat income tax rate of 3.07, the lowest of all the states. Okay, with the
okay, so only
okay,
three.
awesome. Statewide sale tax rate is 6% through two
I got 14,
counties.
bro.
Additional sales. Okay, awesome. So not too far from the whole 8% and whatnot, but essentially that's what it is. And there's actual ways, bro, like to actually put the business in either negative or to where you're probably paying taxes on like maybe 10 grand. And if you're paying taxes on 10 grand, 8% is $800 that you would pay, that you would pay state. And then 35% for federal and stuff like that, you'd be paying about 8 plus, let's say, what, 3,500. You'd be paying like a little over $4,000 in taxes, and that's a major difference from paying $43,000 or even paying $21,000 then paying a little over four grand. So it's like, why wouldn't?
So is this how? I mean, besides, so I feel as if obviously billionaires have a completely different route to avoiding taxes.
It's not avoiding. So here's the thing. It's not avoiding taxes. It's lowering your taxable income, right? And they're using, various companies, holdings companies, business trust, family trust, foundation, charity. Check this out. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates donates, let's say, I don't know, $200 million to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which they own. Okay.
Yeah.
So that $200 million that they just donated to their foundation is a write-off to his income, to his income from Microsoft. So however much he's making, so like, bro, it's so amazing, like the different routes that they go to use to lower their taxable income, from foundations to charities, to trust funds and whatnot. Like, okay, you have a dog. What's your dog's name? Tango. If you have a home office, right? Obviously, like you're trading from home and whatever. If you were to start your buddy business, right? And let's say your dog costs money, right? You have to pay vaccines, insurance, supply, all that stuff. If I told you there was a way for you to put your dog under your business as a guard dog, and everything that has to do with your dog now becomes a business expense, which would lower your taxable income, because mind you, it's money that you're already spending. So let's say per year you're spending $3 grand on your dog. That's $3,000 that you would be able to write off from your taxable income.
Right. See, that's crazy, bro. I'll be like, oh, Tango? I'll be like, nah, I got him because of the tax write-off. I'll be like, yeah, that's the only reason.
Bro, like legit, like there's so many different ways to go about it. Like you can literally have your dog as an employee of your business as a guard dog, and everything that has to do with your dog is gonna be a tax write-off. Everything.
Bro, I feel like this is actually like a really smart idea, dude. So I get $10.
It's legit, bro. It's legit. So, see, the problem is that most people, like, they find taxations boring. Like Like when it comes, dude, I mentioned people trading like, oh my God, I'm not good at math. I'm like, you don't have to be good at math. I was like, yes, there's numbers and percentages, but I was like, but you don't have to be good at math. Like it's very, like it's literally, it's simple math. You're not doing algebra. You're not doing trigonometry, which I can do all of that. But I'm like, you're not doing X to the Y and this and the third. I was like, it's simple.
Right.
It's literally simple math. So, when I tell people that and like for real, I'm like, yeah. And it's like, the biggest thing is like all the stuff that I'm telling you right now, I didn't learn a single of it in school. Like, yes, I learned algebra, trigonometry, and stuff like that, but I don't use those to trade. Like, I'm not using
Right.
X to the Y equals Z to
Yeah.
execute a trade. Like, it's simple. It's simple charting and whatnot. Well, at least to me. Let me correct, because I know for some people it
Yeah.
might not be.
Yeah. They might be like, how dare you?
Yeah, yeah. So with all due respect, but yeah, but essentially, it's like all these stuff right here. It's stuff that I learned outside of school, outside of college, and it's shit that they don't teach you. And it's just like if people really knew that, like, yo, operating as a business in this country is more advantageous than as an individual, how many people would make that turn? Right, but we weren't taught this in school, and then furthermore, very few of us actually have someone in our immediate network that that is familiar with this stuff, that can then and those, and for majority, like there are some people that know but they don't want to share the information.
Right. Yeah. Gatekeeping, essentially. Right. Yeah, just right. Well, like I mean, it kind of depends. Yeah. If it's like, oh yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't know why would people do that. Like just keep going.
Selfishness, greediness. I mean, like I get really frustrated when I try to like understand why people do certain things, and I just come to find out like it's just better not to try to understand people. It's just like, yo, like I don't know, some you have some good human beings, you have some not so good human beings out in this world, and at the end of the day, it's like you just got to do what you can for you and yours, and and along the way, share some knowledge, share some information, like all the stuff that I've been sharing and giving on the stream. Like it's all stuff that like I had to pay to learn and stuff like that, and it's like I'm giving it for free, like, and I'm giving education far beyond trading, like, because essentially as streamers, like, we're literally just supposed to come on here, talk about trades, call out trades, and that's it, right? So if I stick to that, it's like, you guys are not really gonna learn much. But like there's so many other things to trading and how to really do this and really become, because essentially we get into trading with the hopes and dreams of becoming financially free one day, right?
Yeah.
And just learning a strategy is not going to get you there, because okay, you learn a strategy, you can make the money, but then it's like, okay, well, how do you retain that money? How do you have that money work for you when you're sleeping?
I mean, and that's true because if you just come in here, man, you trade every single day until you're like 60 or whatnot. You might be living lavish if you're doing well, but like, what happens that day you're not trading and you got no other income or anything? It's like, bro, I don't know. I feel as if, yeah, dude, it's I don't know, and that's what everyone says too. They say take trading, take the money you make from trading, and go in. Like, don't just go ball, bro. Go invest, obviously, and go do the right thing, right? It's like, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. I think a lot of us get it, but a lot of people are still at the spots where they're learning almost right. But yeah, dude, I was thinking that too. I don't know why you don't, dude. I mean, hey, man, I know you give free sauce, but start a course, brother. Start a course up in here, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like I've been having like a lot of requests to do like a boot camp and stuff like that, and I'm gonna do that.
Right.
I'm gonna do a boot camp. Like Sean had asked me to do one too, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna put it together. Like do some videos, some pre-recorded videos on like the different strategies that I use, and even just given like how I just come into the market every day, and where I'm finding all these different information, why all these information are relevant and stuff like that. And then I'm also even gonna do like a free Telegram, because like when I jump off, like I'm still trading, right? And obviously,
Right.
like Tradecaster doesn't have like a mobile app right now. So
Yeah.
at least for like when I'm traveling, like I'll be able to, you know, still make call out plays and share chart analysis and stuff like that. So I think first thing I'm gonna do, I'll do that later today, and then next week I'll post a link to it. But I'll be posting like a free Telegram where once I'm done streaming, I'll still be able to share analysis. So like if I take a trade, I'm gonna be able to like take a screenshot, like, okay, I just took the trade here, this is my stop, this is my TP, and then post it in there, so if anyone that has it, they can, you know, they can follow. And it'll be ranging from, obviously, you know, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, ES, oil, gold, and all these things that I trade. Like you can trade them either on a forex brokerage, or you can trade them on a futures brokerage, you know, varying on whatever. And then some stocks, because like the stocks are definitely coming into a point where it's, you know, it's looking good. Specifically, like right now, Tesla. Yesterday's analysis on Tesla is still holding out. Whereas like any dip on Tesla that holds above 202.68 is a buy. And this morning pre-market we came down to like 203.50, and then we rallied pre-market, and then we pulled back during the market open to 204, was it 204.43, created a higher low. And at that point, bro, like if I wasn't at the bank doing wires, I definitely probably would have looked to take the long on this and catch that nice 10-point rip.
Right. Yeah, that's a. I mean, that's a very fair point. I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, I'm a bit on that side as well. I really wish we had a robot right there. Like you said, we could be. Imagine like streaming while you're just like at the gym or something. Be like, hey guys, hope you're up. I'm up like $2,500, you know, on this play right now, guys.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm known for that too. Like,
yeah,
I'm known.
right. In the gym, yep, just taking trades.
Yep. So yeah, so
I
that.
gotta get back on source.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude, the market. So the market. I don't know. What are your thoughts of today, though?
Today not too bad. I mean, honestly, more of a consolidation. Last night, last night at 6 p.m. the market did a gap up, and it didn't quite fill the gap until, when was it? When did it fill the gap? So it filled the gap at 8 a.m. So at 8 a.m. it filled the gap slightly. But it was still forming lower highs on a 15-minute time frame, which basically is like, okay, it could still potentially test yesterday's low, which it came close to it, but created a higher low. So right now, yeah, I mean, the action is pretty much just like a little sideways action. It is giving some good pops and drops for some quick scalps. But other than that, I mean, I do think probably by the end of the day we could see this back over 41.90. As long as it continues to hold above 41.50, we should be good. I do know a reversal is coming. So it's just going to be a matter of you know, timing and catching it.
That's, by the way, anyone in Caesar's chat. That's my dog.
Yep. Tango. Oh, okay. What kind of breed is
Doberman, yeah, he's a little purebred Doberman pinscher.
Doberman? Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay, Tango. That's what I'm talking about. Now look at your beautiful coat.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, he looks. You know, I always told him. I look at him sometimes. I'm like, Tango, if you were a human, you'd be Asian. And he gives me a weird look. So.
Like, yo, you be one good looking brother, man. You be one good looking brother, bro.
I'll be like, yo, buddy. I know, like, yo, he already tries. I had a little play date one time with another dog, with him, and I all I did was hit a tennis ball. Tango didn't want the tennis ball. He wanted the other goal. I was like, okay, brother, we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you player, bro. I'm like, no way. Like this guy. So, yeah, it's pretty. He's a good dog, though. I had a cat named Little Pimp too. Oh. That was my cat.
Cat called Little Pip.
Yeah, Little Pip, bro. He was a cool cat. He would literally just come up to you and he'd just sit on your lap and like he would like force you to have him play it for two. And he would just sit there, though. That's it. Like he was so chill. But then he wanted to be an outdoor cat, so I was like,
All right.
yeah, buddy. So
yeah, buddy.
chilling out, yo. Yeah, man. Yeah, but no, I agree, man. It's been consolidation all day, but like, I don't know why. I mean, where I used to not be rather well in consolidation, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'm just astonished with some of these plays right now, bro. The zones and stuff, man. Starting to get into it, bro. I don't know if you use like support zones and resistance zones.
I do like I have like support zones, supply and demand zones. Yeah, like all of those they're all like good strategies and methods to implement, right? And it's just like when you go into it, like sometimes like especially when you're trading counter trend, you have to be like, cautious as to the size that you take. But yeah, but those work as well too. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of you're right. On that. I mean, sometimes you got to go a little bit lighter size on it just in case. You know what I mean? But hey, I mean, if it comes up and actually it rips and runs and goes on it, there's nothing. Hey, can't
Mm-hmm.
go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with it. Yeah. So yeah, just want to play them a little bit more as the market's been in both. Yesterday I definitely say it was more of just like a breakout kind of day. Like it's kind of yeah. Besides at like 1 o'clock, that's just
Mm-hmm.
talk about a Sunday, dude. Wow. Yeah. Yesterday was wild as well. So yeah, it's been a little bit more conservative recently. Yeah, dude, the way. But I was saying that to the chat too when I was streaming. I was like, yo, bro, if I would have, I should have just got a passport and went to Africa with Caesar, man, because this week has been terrible. And that was last week. I'm like, this week has been garbage, bro. I'm like, yo, like, no point, dog.
Yeah,
Just take it
sometimes
all.
yeah, it's good. I mean, bro, I know. Matt, have you even put started the process?
Dude, I should do that right now. Can I do that online?
No, you're gonna need to go to your local post office.
Okay. It's literally right. I say that every time. Like, yeah, I gotta do it, but it's literally right down the road. Like, it's like it is literally right down my hill to like the right, and I just gotta. Okay, so wait. Okay, so I go into the post office. Let me write this down. Right, I can do this today. Prof. Okay, I go in there. What's
Yep.
the step process? I'm sure some of these guys, I
So
guess, are
you're
all.
gonna go. So you're gonna go into the post office and you're gonna tell them that you want the form to file for a passport. They're gonna give you a form. You're gonna take that form. You're gonna take it home and you're going to fill it out. All right. You're gonna go to your local CVS or Walgreens and tell them that you're gonna go in there. Make sure that you're well groomed because you're gonna take they're gonna take a profile picture for you to be
Here we
able to
go.
send in with that form. Once you fill out the form, they're gonna ask either for like a proof of residence and proof that you're a U.S. citizen. So obviously you were born in the U.S. So you can just put your birth certificate and something that like a bill that shows like your proof of address. And then you're gonna
Right.
take
Right.
that back to the post office. They're gonna ask you, do you want the small book or big book? Select the big book. They're the same price. They're gonna ask you, do you want to do like a regular process or do you want to expedite? Do the regular. The expedite, they come the same time. So the regular might cost you like $172, and the big book just means like you get a passport with more pages if you intend to do quite a bit of traveling for the next 10 years. You want that because if you get the small one and you run out of pages, you'll have to do the whole process again. So select the big book, and then pay just the regular fee, the regular 170 something. I believe the expedite is like 270. It's like an extra $100, but it comes the same time, bro. Like, so there's no need to do the expedite process, especially
Right.
like you're not trying to go anywhere in the next few months anyway. So yeah, so you do that and then that's it. And then within 4 to 8 weeks, you'll get it in the email and you're set to go.
Oh, that's really, so that's it. I just get the form, fill the form out,
Hmm.
go to CVS Football Greens, go take my picture, and
Yep.
then do I with the picture? Is that what you're saying?
The
Do the
picture, yeah,
picture?
the picture when you go back to the post office, you'll bring the picture with you. They're gonna take the picture from you. They're gonna put it in the application, and then you're gonna pay the fee, and then they're gonna mail it out.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's it.
relatively simple process, bro. Yeah, it's not nothing
It'll take
crazy.
like an hour or two.
Yeah, no, no, it's not gonna take that long. Yeah, relatively
That's
simple.
pro. Okay, well, I definitely need to get. I was supposed to do that in like June. All right, and I was like,
Yeah,
you know what?
stop slacking, bro. Stop
I
slacking,
know, bro.
man.
I'm
Cause
bro. That's one thing I gotta work on my procrastination, bro. Like certain things, I'm terrible with.
yeah, and also, so if I mean, we're towards the last two months of the year, so I mean, I don't know what your P&L is looking like, but
Mm,
definitely for sure, if you don't do it before the end of the year, starting January, okay, set up a Yeah Buddy business, and
yeah.
I would recommend registering it in Wyoming, okay? Right.
Wyoming. Okay.
Yes, register your LLC in Wyoming.
Hold on, this. Register in Wyoming. How come?
Wyoming, anonymity and privacy. They have really good privacy laws and anonymity laws. And Wyoming is one of the few states that actually allows international entities to own businesses in Wyoming. So meaning if one day, you were to set up a Yeah Buddy, trust in the Cayman Islands or in St. Kitts and Nevis, you would be able to transfer the ownership of your, Yeah Buddy LLC to your trust. That's based
Okay.
overseas. It's just additional protections and stuff like that. Just basically you're preparing for this nice fruitful wealthy life that you're about to build, from getting funded and being able to, who's to say that you don't end up getting, funded seven figures, and you get to a point where, monthly you're cashing out 40, 50, 150 grand. And imagine if you're making 150 grand a month, you're looking at over 1.2 mil a year. Imagine making 1.2 mil a year and about 560,000, not maybe like 480,000 going to the government.
Oh yeah, that's kind of low. Yeah, dude.
That's all.
Bro. I was just in paradise. Like, yeah, you're right, bro. And then you hit me with that, and I'm like, well, wait,
Yeah, so so
huh?
so like a lot of people think that like they need to have, a ton. And okay, I'm not a financial advisor. Let me just put that for full
Right,
disclosure. I'm not a financial advisor. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people think that they need to be making a ton of money to start utilizing trusts and foundations and stuff like that. And it's like, once you start making some money, like, it's just a good way to start, right? To saving, and you're implementing these practices, and then you build from it. So it's like, it's much better to, like, build it now, and then, just continue to add as you go along. And anyone that's really looking to, take advantage of these prop firms, it's like, there's no better way. Like, what?
right. And dude, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we a lot of the times, I mean, we take it almost for granted in a way. But the main thing I think about is that, people might think that's not always like stable. But once you pass that evaluation and get a little bit of that cushion room gap, even like 10K on like any of the accounts, right? It's like that trailing stop loss goes away, man, and your stop loss is set after that first cash out, right? It's like, right? Isn't that how that works? So like, if you grab a 50K account, you pass it. Let's say you get up to 60K, you cash out the first month like 2K on it or something, right?
Yeah, you're
Now it's
on a
like
50K
50,000.
account, you're able to cash out 2K twice a month. So basically on a
Right.
50K you can make 4K, you can essentially make 4K a month for the first 3 months, right? So first 3 months you're making 4K, you're looking at about $12,000 the first 3 months. After that, starting the fourth month, you can take out however amount you want. So let's say within the first 3 months you were able to take out 12K, but you have like a floating 30K, which means your current balance is $80,000, right? Starting the fourth month. So that means on the fourth month, if you want to go and like say you have $30,000 in it and you want to take out a $15,000, you can. And you can leave $15,000 in there as a cushion. You leave that in there to be able to continue growing and stuff like that. Once you build a solid cushion in that trading account, as long as you don't get too ahead of yourself, like, you'll be good. And if you're paying yourself along the way, even if you were to lose the account, guess what? You can repeat the process again and do it, as long as you're not living too far out beyond your means. But you want to also have backups, right? Like, this whole thing is a chess game. Like, you have to be very strategic in how you do things. You want to first, like, once you get funded, yo, before you like get funded, before your first payout, form an LLC, right? And the sooner the better. Like, there's certain, strategies to, like, when you form LLCs, because, like, most new companies, they only last about 2 years. So even if you're not making money right now, but you start an LLC, and obviously, yes, it's gonna cost you as far as, like, what you're paying and stuff like that, but in a matter of a year's time, you'll be able to utilize that LLC to get funding from banks and so forth. 2 years, if your LLC has been around for 2 years, that's even more capital that you're going to be able to get from banks to do other things. So now, if you're at a point where you have a steady cash flow coming in from trading, right, you are able to get, let's say, 100 or 200 grand in funding from firms, that you are then able to, let's say, put that money towards a real estate property that is generating you another, maybe 2 grand a month. Like, now you're off. Like, now you're in a position to where, like, yo, you know what? I don't need this 9 to 5. I got Forex coming in, consistently trading. I have another 2K coming in a month from real estate. Not to mention, okay, real estate value is increasing. So now you not only do you have money coming in, but you also have equity in that property, and you continue repeating the same process. Next thing you know, you go from getting 2K a month in passive real estate to getting 10K a month in passive real estate, whether it be long term or short term, like Airbnb. Bro, you get to that point, who the hell needs a 9 to 5?
Right, bro.
Right?
And
Now, bro, you go to your boss, like, you're fired. I'm done.
yeah, right, bro.
Fire your
Right,
boss.
go there and be like, you're done.
You're done. Like,
cash out, buddy.
yep, I'm out. Thank you. Come again.
Yeah.
But yes.
That is the way, bro. And honestly, man, I feel as if I couldn't agree more. For anyone out there that is working at 9 to 5, bro, like, you guys are on the break. And, like, right there's exact process you could go through. Like, invest your money. Obviously, don't go ball the second you get funded or whatnot.
Nah.
Even if, like, you own the account for like 4 months plus. Let's say, like if you build a fat cushion, bro, somehow of, like, I don't know, like 30, 40K on, like, a 50K account or even a 100K account or whatever it may be, and you have that wiggle room, right? Obviously, I don't know. I feel like once I get funded and everything, I kind of want to keep, like, if I were to build it up to a point, at least like 20K in there.
Bro, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how much, like, you
build,
prefer keeping in there.
nah, for me, it's around that. Like, for me, it's around 15, like around 15 to like 25K in cushion. Like, right now, like, the cushion is a bit bigger because I'm waiting for the year to end to, like, really cash out. So, like, that way it goes into next year. But by like end of January, like, I have another strategy implementing that I won't have to pay like taxes or too much taxes on what I'm getting from Apex. So, like, for now, like, I just been taking out the bare minimum,
Right.
just to make sure, like, okay, I'm getting something every month. So, like, every month, like, I've been getting payouts from them, but like I have a bulk, like, I'll say 98% of what I've made is still in there, and I'm only gonna take that out starting next year, and then I'm
Right.
gonna take that and send it into the trust, which is gonna go to my overseas trust, and then essentially I'm not gonna have to pay taxes on none of that, and I have a whole year to worry about the tax structure and stuff like that. But with what I have implementing, with what I'm implementing using trust, and I think probably by like the second quarter of next year, I'll have like a foundation set up, and then I'll be transferring money into that foundation, and then utilizing that foundation into different things, which ends up becoming a tax write-off. So essentially basically I'm working towards everything that, like, I'm making in trading. Like, I'll be paying taxes on probably less than 5 grand.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, bro. That is yeah, right there. You got me, bro.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy, dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, are you talking about for this year or for overtime?
Like overall, like even this year, like as of right now, like I'm probably only gonna be paying taxes on like maybe 10 grand worth worth of income.
Is that
And
because?
huh?
Oh, sorry. Is that because you sent it over? To what is it? What's it
Um,
called?
that's that's because like I have a consultancy firm. So I have a consultancy firm in the UK, in Britain. So my business here owes that business their money, and that business there owes money to a business in Mexico. And in Mexico it's much easier to maneuver certain things to where like end up paying like very minimal taxes. But I'm shooting for before the end of this year, like to make a trip out to Dubai to set up an LLC there. And once I set up an LLC there, the LLC in Mexico is gonna owe money to the LLC in the UAE. And in the UAE there's no taxes, there's no corporate tax for companies based in the free zone. So essentially I'm gonna pay taxes on nothing. I'm only paying taxes on my salary, on my individual salary, which is 10 grand.
There you go. Yo, let your boy know when you're going out, buddy. All I gotta say.
Why you think I've been
Uh,
telling you you gotta get your passport, bro? Cause yo, me, Kush is going. There's a couple other
oh,
traders. There's a couple other traders in Miami that wants to take the trip out there too. And bro, like
bro. Okay,
I've been
okay.
I've been telling you, but you've been
I'm done.
slacking, bro. I was like, I told you, like, yo, to be friends with me, bro, you gotta have a passport. I mean, like, you don't really have to have a passport, but it's like you trade, like you're trading, bro. Like you're a trader, so it's like so you have the freedom to be able to go anywhere and whatever, and you don't have to ask for days off and whatever. So it's like Dubai is a vibe, bro. Like Dubai is a vibe. Like two of my trader friends went out there in October, and bro, like they're like, yo, I'm ready to move. Like one of them moved from New York to Miami, and he's just like, yo, I think I might have to move over to the UAE. And the other one that still lives in New York, he's like, yo, like it's like, yeah, like Dubai is it. I'm like,
Mhm.
I said it
I've been
before.
wanting you.
You know what I mean?
Oh man,
So
that's
yeah, it's a vibe, bro. Like you'll love it. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to do, and for you being like an extreme sportist, bro, like it's gonna be a hell of a time. I mean, they have like the deepest pool in the world, that like you can like basically like put scuba gear on and go in and dive down. And like they have like cars in that pool, motorcycles. You can do skydiving. There's the desert safari with ATVs and those quad cars. There's so much to do out there, bro. Like if you, and
I
not to mention
really
the suit, yo, not to mention the luxury cars, bro. Like the exotic cars from Lambos to Maseratis to Ferraris, Urises, like yo,
yo,
it's
yeah,
a
all right. So game
it's a
plan.
good time.
All right. Game plan. We're gonna go get some dirt bikes, some four wheelers. I'm gonna hit like a 50-footer jump. All right. I'm gonna try and do a backflip on a dirt bike. Hear me out. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then after
Okay.
that, we're gonna go straight from there. We're gonna go straight from there. We're gonna go to some supercars, baby. I'm hitting 200 minimum on the speedway. Like I
So,
said, bro. I'm going
sounds
cruising.
good. We'll have to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
We'll have to go out into the desert where they don't have no speed traps, because my last
Oh
trip
yeah.
my last trip to Dubai, bro, I caught a $1,600 ticket.
What? Rewind. Run that back. What? 1,600 bucks for a ticket, dude? Mine like,
Yeah.
yo, they charge that much?
I
Okay,
I I
seriously.
I flew past. I want to say it was like three or four speed trap cameras, and the ticket total came out to like 1,600. It was a lot lesser than one of my boys. Like one of my boys went out there and he caught like a 3 grand a total ticket, speeding ticket. Like so like if you, so like once like rent the supercar, dude, like if you really want to speed, like gonna have to go out into like the desert, like because even now like in the desert, like you have like some beautiful straightaways and you don't have any street speed trap. But once you're in the city, bro, like they have literally speed traps like coming off the highway, going onto the highway. And there was one night like I know I saw the flash. That was like the one time that I knew like I caught it. I was staying in downtown Dubai, like next to the Burj Khalifa, and I had gone out to the marina to see one of my friends, and like I just had to beeline. So I'm like, yo, I'm just beelining it back, and bro, like I saw the flash behind him, like I'm like, yep, that's me. And but then like they hit me with two. I went to Abu Dhabi, and then on the way from Abu Dhabi, like I was just trying to get back to the Airbnb quick. And bro, like when you're in a supercar, bro, like you could be doing like 100 and it feels like you're doing 30.
Right.
Like it's crazy. So yeah, so I wasn't aware of of the speed, but yeah, so when I came back, it was just like, yep, oh, $1,600 in total in speeding tickets. I was like, damn. I was like,
yeah, right, bro. That's what I'm saying. For speeding ticket,
bro, I was heated, man. I was heated, but I was just like, yo, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, so ended up paying it and stuff like that. But then I'm like, yo, next time, it's like so then I ended up downloading Waze because I upgraded my phone plan to be able to have like high speed data out there. So then I just ended up I was using Google to get everywhere. But then once you download Waze will tell you like all the speed traps and stuff like that. So yeah, so I was like, that's a must. Like you gotta have that on your phone because like it'll show you like, oh, you're coming up to a speed trap, like slow down, because it'll easily go from like 100 kilometers down to like 80 or 60. And bro, I was doing like I was doing like 190 kilometers, 200 kilometers, and yeah, like I was speeding.
Right through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact is that they don't even care to. They just like put the trap out there. If you hit the trap, well, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like no one's chasing you.
Most people they got money. Like if you're speeding, like you got money to pay that. So yeah.
Yeah, right. They just don't even get it. I mean, that's probably, think about it, they probably make a lot off that. Because think about how many like really rich people just are like, do I feel like putting up 10 bands to the government today here?
Yeah.
Nah, screw it.
Yeah.
Just rip it, bro.
Bro, it's another world. Like when I tell you, like I was seeing 18, 19-year-olds and $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 cars, and I'm just like, wow, dude. I remember one point I was looking at maybe getting like a Ferrari 812 fastback car, and over here in the States it retails for like 280 something. And I found one out there. It was like a 2016. I found one for like 80K.
Really? What?
Bro, I was just like, what? I was like, no freaking way. So I hit up my guy out there, and he was like, yeah. He's like, you want it? I'm like, I was like, nah. I was like, I'm not gonna be there for some time. So I was like, nah, I'll scratch that. But it's just crazy. Like it's like you have crazy wealthy people there that like they'll buy a 2022 car, right? And let's say the new one comes around. So let's say now it's 2024 cars, right? They'll get the 2024 car and they'll just like the hell with this 2020 or this 2019. Like they give no cares about it. Cause dude, people there are billionaires and trillionaires. Like trillionaires, bro, they make more money than they will ever spend in their life in like 3 generations.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild.
And they're just I mean that's the one thing I'm glad I did realize is like, dude, I know that the rich out there, bro. I couldn't even imagine the royal family, bro. Like I couldn't even imagine how much like they're actually worth. You know what I mean, dude? Like, I mean, it's just crazy, bro. Like the amount of money that's out there, and it's like then you have people here, and you can look at the difference, and that's what I always think. I'm like, okay, how is that guy driving a $5 million like Bugatti Chiron or something, bro, whatever it may be. And like, there's some people that work their whole lives to make that much. You know what I mean? It's like
not even. I mean, some people they work their whole lives and they don't even make that much.
That is, and right there it is as well. And it's like, maybe owning a Bugatti Chiron might not be everyone's cup of tea or whatnot, but you know, that's basically what I'm saying though. Is like it's just crazy the amount of money out there and how much. Like I feel like once you have that much, you don't even care about it, right? Obviously, you know, if you have
Yeah,
$2 million.
that's the thing that like that comes from like most like really wealthy people, bro. It's like you get like there's a certain time, like there's a certain amount of wealth where like nothing in life is inaccessible to you. So that drive and passion, like it becomes like I can use that for me like as an example. Like before getting into trading, bro, I didn't really travel. And at first, like once I started trading and I became profitable, bro, like I was traveling everywhere, right? So at first it was exciting to me. Then it got to a point where it's like I just became numb to it. So it's like, like some people they're like, oh shit, like, oh yo, you've gone to Dubai so many times. It's like, like to me it's like I'll look at it like I still know the magnitude of it, but it's just like to me like like it's just like another regular day. Or just like when you start trading and at first you're like you get mad excited, you're making two three $500 a day, and then it gets to the point where like $500 a day is just like it's like, oh okay, you just made $50, or you made 10 grand, and it's like 10 grand is like making 100 or $1,000 in the day.
Right.
To where like if you're not used to it, or if you've never been exposed to it, like it becomes amazing, but then at some point like you become desensitized to it. And out there, dude, like there's so much money. And when people out here in the US want to be like, oh, these are the richest people in the world, it's like, no, the richest people in the world are not on this list. Like this is people that like, okay, it's like a prop. Like, you're just using these people to like, kind of give the masses something to aspire to, whatever. But the richest people in the world, bro, are not on the Forbes 100. They're not opening up themselves to let you know where all their assets and all their money is. Like back then, like you've heard of John Rockefeller, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the day, like they had pegged his net worth at like $45 million, right? And back in that time, $45 million is a lot of money, right? But that was like maybe 5% of his overall wealth, because majority of his because 95% of his wealth was in a trust. So mind you, so if this person is so wealthy that 5% of his wealth is 45 million, what the hell is the actual true value, right? And the actual true value is in a trust. The richest people on earth, bro, are the Saudis. Like they are trillionaires. Where what's the most expensive thing in the UAE? A piece of aluminum. A piece of aluminum.
Really?
Yeah. So over there, how they show their wealth is by who has the lesser numerical value in the license plate. The number one license plate was to the Sheikh of the UAE, which has passed away. His license plate was number one. You have people that they are paying 5, 10, $20 million for a license plate that might say 12, right? And they're putting it on a $250,000 car or a $500,000 car. Like you have Rolls Royces that have license plates that are 10 times what the car cost.
Right.
A piece of aluminum. Like they spend millions. Yeah. So like that it just shows the difference in and the level of wealth. Like everything in life, there's levels to it. Comes to trading, like there's levels to it. Like you have some traders that they're making $50, $100 a day. You have some traders making 500, 1,000 a day. You have some traders making 10, 20,000 a day. You have some traders making 100,000, 200,000 a day. And then you have traders that are making 7 figures a day, right? So everything in life, there's a level to it. And everyone can climb to those levels. It's just a matter of persistency and discipline.
And yeah, and that's what I try to tell, a couple of my buddies. I'm like, the only difference between, and the real only difference, there's a lot of it's not only difference. There's a lot of differences between the guy making 7 figures a day and the guy making 2 figures a day, like $50. A lot of differences. A lot of it's in your mindset. A lot of it's in what they had to overcome. Like, I mean, I don't think there's a trader out there that could say that their path to becoming financially free through trading or whatnot has been like super easy. Like, oh yeah, one day I loaded up the charts and I was just good at it. Like I don't think there's a trader out there that didn't at one point, lose a couple bucks or whatnot, and just like, had to strive through it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, unless yourself, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It was cake work since I've been here, bro. But like, like I don't know, and I feel like a lot of traders just like they don't get that, and it's really about that persistency. But the real difference, and my real difference is what I'm thinking about is, sorry, I just had to cancel this order here on ES. But yeah, no, it's really just like, okay, these guys are sizing up so much, but where do you think they started, right? Like yourself, right?
Yep.
You started with like no, I mean, you probably started with not making what 5-6 figures, right? Or
Nah,
days.
bro.
It's like, or yeah. So
Not
it's
even
like,
not even
that's
close,
kind of,
man. I started off making like my first trade, bro, was on HMNY, which was a company that had at the time it was like when Google was gonna do the Google glasses. My first trade, bro, I'll never forget. Like I made $34. My first trade ever.
there you go. Hell yeah.
I made $34. My second trade, I made about like $950, and then after that, like it was like 1,000 and so forth. And again, it's like I do attribute a lot of that to the fact that when I started trading in the market, the conditions of the market are always changing. So when I started, the market was coming off of the 08 crash. So any little thing, companies were just running amok, and that had a good amount of my success like when I started, because I started off with a 10K account. I was under PDT. I had to find ways to get around PDT and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all
That is
it's all
very.
a process. Like nobody really, I mean, unless you're coming from like a ultra wealthy family, you don't really start off at the top. So it's like come in, if you can make $1, if you can make $10, $20, then you can scale up to be able to make 200, 500, 1,000. The problem is like people think like they'll look at you and they say, "Oh, yo, yeah, but he's making 2 grand a day. He's making 2 grand a week," and they think that automatically they'll be able to do the same. And it's like, no, because you don't know the amount of hours that yeah buddy put into charting. You don't know how many nights or how many times yeah buddy took losses, right? You don't know how many times he went back to the drawing board, like, okay, I gotta fix this, I gotta fix that, like, and those are the things that like most people don't know. Like I myself, like I went through a period where like I literally questioned if I was ever even gonna be able to do this. Like I doubted myself. I took losses that I was just like, oh shit, like this might not be it for me. You know what I mean? But I stayed persistent, and I didn't start off, like knowing all the different things that I know now from from charting, from market structure to institutional levels, to supply and demand zones, to Fibonacci's, reversals, candle formations, all of that. And then more so the macro and economic side of things, the political side of things, like those are all things that like I started off with a foundation. I dug, I built. I went through my trials. I went through my losses. I mean, I've lost people's yearly salary in a month. I've made people's yearly salary in a month, right? But I didn't start off that way. At first, yo, like the most I probably would risk in a trade was like maybe $100, $200, right? And then over time, my account grew, and as my account grew, so did my profits, but so did my losses, right? Because I was taking bigger positions and whatnot, and inevitably, like that is something that's going to happen where you start off at one point and then you just build. Some people check out before they cross that pivot point, because there are growing pains in everything you do. Even if you were to go and start a business right now, a brand new business, there are going to be growing pains. There are going to be moments where you're going to stress and you're like, oh shit, like how do I do this, how do I resolve, you know what I mean? And persistency and having a full clear vision of where you want to be and what you want to do, because you can go through the pains and sorrow of working for someone and dealing with this and somebody telling you what to do and actually telling you what your time is worth, versus you going through the growing pains and struggles and you determining what your time is valued at. Like, we can come into trade like within a few minutes, half hour, an hour. We can make anywhere from a couple $100 to 500, 1,000, right? Can you do that? Can you say the same at a 9 to 5?
Yeah, it's very true, man. I mean, if you can go, I mean, that is, and that's one thing too, man. It's like, I think traders overlook that a lot. It's like, surely the market doesn't always present an opportunity, but let's say, you make, I don't know, $1,000 in less than 10 minutes or something, bro. Like, imagine telling that to someone who's working, a week to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine telling that to someone that's working, even if they're on the wealthier side, even, a lawyer or a doctor or something, you know what I mean? It's like, you would like, wait, you made how much, you know what I mean? And how many minutes? It took you 10 minutes? It's like, well, I have to work a 72-hour shift. And I'm on salary pay. It's like, what I mean? It's like, I have to work, if you're a surgeon or something, I got to do like, it's like, it's just crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And like, obviously, as traders, and I guess that's kind of good if that's the issue. It's like, well, damn, well, it's first world problems, obviously. It's very much
Yeah,
first world
it, nah,
problems. But, like,
it really is, bro. And like, and through my
yeah,
travels, bro, like I'm telling you, like I've been to places. All right, so most recently, I'm coming from a country where the average person, like a person that went to school, high school, college, got a degree, working as a teacher or whatever, average pay is $150 a month.
that is. Yeah,
Like, it's like take a minute and just think like there are places in the world where people are not even making $500 a month, bro.
that is like, that, dude, and that hit me like a tank, bro. That is
Bro,
literally,
like
oh, it's such a blessing, bro.
yeah,
Like,
it really is. Like we are truly blessed to, be in a place and where we can capitalize on these type of things, and where, we're able to make somebody's monthly salary in a day, in a minute, in an hour, in 3 minutes. I mean, my man Doc, like he's over here averaging, $300-400 a day. Like yesterday, like he made like 300 in like within like 5 minutes of the market open. I mean like what 1500 in the first 5 minutes. And
right,
mind you, you already
right.
know I was already up from before the market
Yeah,
opened.
bro.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But it's like, yo,
yeah.
but just to be able to add on to that within 5 minutes, and it's like some people probably have to work a whole freaking year to make that. You know what I mean? And like it's a real blessing to be in this. Like we are all in a very uh um privileged area and place where like we can make however much we want. It just comes down to us. And yes, there are some people, some traders that they're making crazy amount of money, but you can too once you've put in the time to one learn, and once you've put in the time to to do the work. Like you have to put in the time. Like there's no ifs or buts about it. Like the more time and work you put into it, the better off you're gonna be. And eventually, it might not be now, but eventually, in a couple of years, you could be doing 5-10K a day, a week. And and eventually, get to like where Kush is at, where he's making 200-300-400 thousand dollars in freaking 15,
Yeah,
20
money.
minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, bro.
but again, like I tell people, that's like you have to know and understand that that person is obviously trading with a much larger account size, right? And that's something that a lot of people like overlook. It's like, which is why I love talking percentages versus the actual numerical value, because it's like,
Right.
okay, I come here, it's like, okay, let's say, next week I make, let's say next week in the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, I make 20 grand, right? People gonna be like, oh shit, yo, this dude made 20 grand. It's like, yes, 20 grand is great. But it's like, do you know the size of my account? My account is 7 figures. So if I'm trading a
Right.
7 figure account and I make 20 grand, that's not really much in percentage wise. But from the outside looking in, it's like, yo, shit, this dude is making 100 grand a week. And again, 100 grand a week on, on a $5 or $6 million account is not really much, right? But that's where, what I'm saying, I always tell people, like, you got to understand, like, whoever you're watching or following, you don't exactly know the size of the account that they're trading with, right? So you're trading with 10 grand, this person's trading with 50 grand, this person's trading with, 300 grand, 500 grand, and they're making 5, 6. Okay, yeah, that's great money. But you got to understand, like, there's a major difference in it. And that's why, like, I started focusing on percentage, because people would look at my returns as like, oh shit, like, and to a degree, like, inspired, but at the same time discouraged, like, oh shit, like, how am I even gonna get that? Like, I'm only trading with a 10K account. And then it's like, don't focus on my numerical value, like, this is the percentage. So that's when I'm like, okay, today I'm up 1%, or today I'm up 2%. And when I say 2%, like I'm talking like 2% of the overall account, or I'm up 1% of the overall account. So on average, I do about like 1 to 2% of the account a day and whatever. So I average about, somewhere between 5 to maybe almost 10% a week on an account. Sometimes lesser, like sometimes I might not even make a full percent, right? I might make a half of a percent and whatever.
Right.
But if I'm trading with, a large, with a substantial account size, that half a percent is major. That's, 5, 10, 20, 30 grand.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that's very true, man. And that's the thing. It's like I feel as if you're right. Once you get up to that level, man, you even like that's still really good return. You're making like 5% of your account a week. It's like just think about that. Like I mean, I can do something. My math's not always right, but 52 weeks, all right, in a year. We're gonna do 51 due to some holidays, right? Let's say you make 5% a week or something. Okay, we'll be conservative. We'll say like 3%. Is that good? Probably.
Yeah, that's
Let's
pretty
be
good.
conservative because some weeks will be up, some weeks will be down.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's always like, what I'm saying, losses and stuff like that. So yeah, so let's say you average out 3% a week. I mean, 3% a week, you're looking at what, 12% a month?
Yup, 153% a year. Think about that, guys. 153% a year, man. That is like,
and mind
that's on 50. That's on 51 weeks. Not at 52, because obviously we have.
And mind you, most Americans are living, they're making less than 30 grand a year.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah, that is also
right. So that means on a 20K account, if you're making 100 and something percent a year, that means you're making $22,000 a year and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and honestly, like, it ends up being possibly a little bit more, because as you build a cushion, you can actually take on bigger positions. So you could, let's say, make 150% a year on your money. If you make 150% return on 20 grand, you're making 25 you're making like almost like 30 something $1,000 a year.
Right. Yeah. And it's, I mean, that's it right there, bro. That is like, that's crazy sauce, dog. Like, I mean, shit, like, dude, some people, I don't know, man. It's and I feel as if I feel like a lot of traders that aren't profitable necessarily don't look at the bigger picture. It's like, bro, for the first year or something, you should just be focused on making some, right? On the first few months, at least make some. You know what I mean? Even if you're like trading with a 10K account and you only make 1,000, like that, for the first 3 months, right? It's like, okay, but here's something you're doing that's better than like a lot of other people that might just be getting into trading, is you're being profitable, right? Consistently, right? It's like if across 3 months you make, or let's say like, I don't know, across the entire year, you only make like half of your account. You make like 50% of your account back. So like, let's say you average like, I don't know, like 500, 600 a month or something on top of your 9 to 5. Well, it's like at least you're being profitable consistently, right? On like a month-to-month basis, which is a lot better than like, some not gonna say like, trade caps members, because obviously we're all banking around here, baby. But like some other people, you know what I mean? It's like some people wish they could just be in that position, or even just an extra 500 a month, dude. That's as much as like renting out a property, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a single home property. Well, yeah, I could say single home property. Yeah, you'll probably make around like $500 after paying mortgage, all the extra fees and stuff. So yeah, bro, that is a big fact, dog. I mean, yeah. So. No, I'm glad. I'm glad we're realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your thoughts right now? I got this little zone area underneath 413, man. I don't know why. I'm thinking on the S&P. I don't know. I just keep pushing for the calls, man. I mean, it keeps bouncing for some reason. Anytime underneath 413, I just keep thinking the longs here. I don't know. On ES, that would be like right around 460, 4160. What are your thoughts?
This 4160 looks appealing. I like it. I like it a lot. I might add to my position. I'm still holding the 4168 position.
Okay.
I still think that we could end up seeing a close of the day above 4180, 4190. So I'm gonna hold. I'm just gonna look to do a cost average on it.
Yeah, buddy. Yep. Yeah, there she goes. Yeah. I'm chilling out right now. I'm just holding micros 20 on the 50K account.
Yeah. So
Chilling.
but I'm about to jump off and stuff.